Just about a month away from Khamzat Chimaev defending his middleweight title against Sean Strickland at UFC 328, the predictions are heating up. Colby Covington is fully backing the champion, saying Strickland has no chance. He believes Chimaev will easily take him down and dominate the fight on the ground, claiming the undefeated Chechen is on a completely different level than anyone Sean has faced before. On the other side, Kamaru Usman, who's faced both fighters, has a very different view. He says Strickland's tricky, unorthodox style could really test Chimaev. He pointed out how hard it is to hit Sean because of the way he blocks and leans away from shots. He also noted that Chimaev has one main weapon he relies on to dominate opponents, but if that doesn't work, he'll be forced to show his full arsenal. He even gave Khamzat credit for his striking, mentioning how he stood and dropped Gilbert Burns multiple times, and said if Chimaev changes his mentality and fights like a true mixed martial artist instead of relying on his wrestling, we could see an all-out war between the two. Alright, let's hear what Colby Covington had to say about the fight.
I know you're not the biggest fan of Sean Strickland. Are you giving him a chance here against Khamzat? Like, we saw some pretty good wrestling takedown defense against Hernandez.
No, I'm not giving him a chance. You know, Hernandez and Khamzat are completely different levels of grapplers and the way they approach their strategy. So I think Khamzat's going to take him down and submit him. You know, obviously, you know, Schmo went and watched them spar back at Extreme Couture a couple years ago, and he pretty much said like it wasn't competitive. Khamzat was just taking him down and submitting him. So I expect that same game plan. He's not going to be stupid and strike with Sean, you know, and make it a kickboxing fight. He's just going to make it straight grappling, and you know, I think he's going to put Strickland in some really bad positions and either submit him or just hold him out for 25 minutes.
Yoel Romero has reacted to the major news coming out of the IBA bare knuckle event in St. Petersburg, Russia. After significant backlash following his fight, IBA President Umar Kremlov announced that the controversial result against Vagab Vagabov will be reviewed by an independent judging commission. The original decision awarded the win to Vagabov after 5 rounds, but many felt Romero did more than enough to get the victory, sparking widespread controversy. Yoel Romero and his team have welcomed the review, hoping the commission will correct what they believe was an unfair outcome. There is now a real possibility that the victory could be overturned. This is a rare move by the IBA and shows just how much heat the original decision received. For Romero, a potential change in result would be a big moral victory as he continues his transition into bare knuckle boxing after his MMA career. Let's roll the clip of Yoel Romero's reaction to the IBA reviewing his controversial loss.
About the decision about the fight, nobody stay happy. Nobody. I think the only people who stay happy about the decision in the fight is my opponent and ¿cómo se dice? Su equipo. And his team. My opponent and his team. Creo que el presidente.
I feel like the president is making the right choice with that. That's protecting the image of the company and not tainting their legacy and the sport.
Khabib Nurmagomedov revealed that he recently had a phone conversation with Ilia Topuria, during which the Georgian asked him to speak to Dana White about making a fight with Islam Makhachev happen. Khabib, who frequently gives speeches and makes sponsored appearances in the Middle East and Dagestan since retiring from fighting, also invited Topuria to visit Dagestan. During one of his appearances in Dagestan this week, he was asked about a possibility of a Topuria versus Makhachev matchup, his opinion on Topuria, and whether they had been in contact before. He confirmed that the call with El Matador took place and shared some details from their conversation, highlighting the growing chatter around a potential clash between the two elite champions.
Попросить Дану, говорит, чтобы не вопроса, не знаю, почему я такой, давай, может, прилетишь, он говорит, если у меня не будет, ну, это что всегда такая секретная информация была. Он мне сказал, что если он не будет, ну, занят, то он прилетит.
The reason for the phone call isn't exactly clear, but it's not a secret either. A couple of weeks ago, Topuria made some aggressive comments about Khabib's team, and Khabib jokingly said he would have a talk with him. It wasn't meant to be confrontational, just friendly banter. Being neighboring regions, Dagestan and Georgia have fighters and teams who sometimes have good relationships despite occasional public jabs. Arman Tsarukyan believes a potential fight against Ilia Topuria would be absolutely massive for the lightweight division. In a recent interview, Arman said both he and Topuria are in their absolute prime right now, which would make the matchup a true 50-50 fight with high stakes and huge fan interest. He made it clear he's ready for that level of challenge and sees it as one of the biggest possible bouts at 155. At the same time, Arman took some strong shots at Max Holloway. He claimed the former champion is done already and has basically zero wrestling left. He pointed to Holloway's recent loss to Charles Oliveira, saying it was shocking that a fighter with almost 20 years in the sport couldn't defend even basic takedowns from Oliveira. He added that Max looked so off in that fight that he'll take a few more bouts just to cash in before calling it a career. Arman continues to position himself as the next title challenger at lightweight. Let's roll the clip of Arman talking about a potential fight with Ilia Topuria.
It has to be you next. If it's not you next, then we have a massive problem.
Me?
It has to be you, Arman. Come on.
Problem gonna have my fans with UFC. Me, I'll stay out of the problem.
There's no one else. It's one of the biggest fights the UFC can do. You versus Ilia, if he wins, and I think he's gonna win. It's a gigantic fight.
Yeah, can imagine me versus Ilia on the White House. Everybody gonna talk about that fight.
White House, no White House.
Yeah.
Who cares? Put it anywhere. Put it in Madrid.
Yeah, great fight because we are both on young and on our prime, and like 50% gonna think I'm gonna win, 50% gonna think Ilia gonna win, and it's gonna be like a massive fight.
New footage has emerged of Khamzat Chimaev casually choking out popular YouTube podcast host Bear Digidio during a training session. In the clip, Chimaev locks in a rear naked choke, and fans were quick to notice that Khamzat barely even tightened the grip, yet Digidio still tapped almost immediately. Chimaev is scheduled to face former champion Sean Strickland at UFC 328 in a month. Strickland has shown solid defensive wrestling throughout his career, but he has never faced a grappler with the pace and control of Chimaev. As for predictions, it largely comes down to whether Sean can keep the fight standing. If Khamzat closes distance early and forces grappling exchanges, he likely overwhelms him. If Strickland maintains range and volume over 5 rounds, it becomes much more competitive, but the grappling gap is still the biggest factor in the matchup. What are your predictions for this fight? Leave your comments below.
Yeah.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.